Hey, speaking of insulting people and Johnny feeling mocked, go ahead and give us your little rant about The Hobbit so we can make fun of you.
This is the part where you can skip to the next part.
I feel like this is just a segment for mocking me.
Well, maybe it is, but
It's kinda
that's
funny.
what the people want.
So here's the deal. Rings of Power had its season finale. And it was pretty much just all right.
Did it lead into a season 2?
Oh, absolutely.
Of
Yeah.
course, you got to milk the cow.
I think that, so they had two main characters that you were trying to figure out what their identity was in the canon. And they're going to reveal it, or at least partially reveal it at the end of the season. So they did a partial reveal of one of the characters, and it was pretty much exactly what I thought. Although they left it a little bit open as to is it okay if we talk? You guys don't care, and I'm going to say it was kind of
Nobody cares.
Spoiler warning.
spoiler-ish. Okay,
Nobody cares.
we found out that the one character that they were trying to reveal is a wizard. So now we just got to figure out.
Jeff Bezos?
You're a lizardary.
There's 5 wizards in Tolkien's canon. So is it one of the ones we're familiar with, or is it the 2 of the more obscure ones, or one of the 2 more obscure ones? We don't know. But it's great because he's in Astari, which is a wizard, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And the reveal was cool. The other character that you're trying to figure out the whole time is Sauron, which is a big part of Lord of the Rings.
Is that the eye?
And yeah, he becomes an eye later on.
He becomes an
Well,
eye.
becomes
when
an eye.
when they try to bring him back for really what is the 3rd time, he takes the form of an eye until he can get the ring back. And once he gets the ring back, he can take physical form. That's like way later, right? We're back and just like, who is Sauron?
Oh,
Right,
he's just a
right,
dude at this
right.
point?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Who is Sauron the dude?
in the show, they do a couple things with this one character where you're like, is he Sauron? And then in the middle of the season, they take you way off trail and they give you a bunch of red herrings to say, there's no way he's Sauron. And then lo and behold, he is Sauron. I will give the writers props because they made it obvious that he was, but then they made you doubt like the obviousness of it. And then you ended up with, yeah.
They subverted your expectations.
Yeah, they did. So they kind of took you on a little ride. And they did the same thing with the guy who ends up being a wizard. They kind of make you think he is Sauron when he's not. So like
He's just a wizard.
yeah, he's just a wizard. So they did a nice job of doing some cool reveals. Some of the stuff they really, the time compression thing's really messing it up because they're trying to fit timelines together that are overlapping that really took place thousands of years apart, and it makes it a little. There's ways to do it. None of them are very great, so that kind of kills the show a little bit. But.
So that was the season finale. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you like it?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 6 about now.
Okay,
Alright.
so that's okay.
Slightly above average.
Yeah.
It's worth watching.
What do you think most Lord of the Rings fans think about the show?
It depends. So I've been kind of exploring Reddit. A bunch of people who are part of the Lord of the Rings Reddit left it to start their own Reddit to discuss the show in a way that is critical, but not like we still want to watch the show and enjoy it type of thing.
Okay.
That's good.
And it's a pretty cool little community, and like there's a lot of
Johnny found his community.
Found the other hobbies?
the other hobbies. And I mean, most people are in agreement. Some people like some of the things they did. Some people don't like the things that they did. There is a bunch of Tolkien purists that are just like, this is not, I don't know. So I don't know what a majority of Lord of the Rings fans think because the loudest ones are the ones that are just like,
yeah, they're probably like, I hate it.
poo-pooing it.
I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, I could be, but I just haven't gotten into it. But I really feel like for any kind of TV adaptation or movie, like you just have to stop. You can't think as a purist. You just have to accept that they're going to take some liberties in their adaptation.
And one thing I've tried to explain about this show from the beginning was like it's based on a like very loose history where like Tolkien will write a paragraph about like these events that happen pretty loosely, right? And so now they're trying to depict that on the screen, and so they only really have to hit major story beats, and as long as they don't make the filler like totally out of left field, this show is ripe for taking liberty a little bit because it's like you're creating a historical fiction around a fake history, right?
Right. So you can do whatever you want.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, you can do whatever you want in the parameters of what's established in the canon.
Exactly.
Which is pretty broad anyway.
Which it can be pretty broad.
Which is fairly broad. So it's interesting to see what they're doing with it.
So you think there's a potential that season 2 will be better?
Yeah, they definitely have set up a lot of things that could make the show. But again, it's kind of like it wasn't in the middle of the season when I was like, if they do this and they do that, the reveals, I liked the reveals. They didn't disappoint me. But then now what do they do next with those? Is a big question because they could take it a lot of different directions that are not good. Because they've compressed the timeline, they've got to find a way to there's a lot of different things they got to figure out how to tell these different story bits. But there's ways they can do it. I can already imagine different ways of doing it.
So what I'm wondering is if you know if season 2 has already been greenlit.
It is already greenlit and it is being filmed. Yes.
Because I know that I've really just seen a lot of hate for it, and so I would even wonder if they're even going to attempt a season 2 because of all the hate. But if they've already greenlit it, they've already greenlit it.
Yeah, I mean the reality is until their season finale happened, until like 2 days ago or yesterday, it was the #1 Amazon streaming show, and it stayed that way throughout its airing. So
perhaps I've just been seeing a very vocal minority.
That's what you see. Yeah, you only see the haters, and they are very vocal.
But the bottom line is, you think it's fine, it's okay, it's not great.
Yeah. There's things that are great about it. There are things that are not so great about it. There's nothing that's terrible about it. And I don't think I think it's so far it's been very honoring to Tolkien, save for a few things they did with some characters. But they still have time to redeem those things. So we'll see.
I hope so. Good job, Amazon Prime.
Thank you for the update, Johnny.
You're welcome.
Now stop putting it on all the boxes.
I'm really glad Connor's not down here. This was much easier without him.
Judging you?
But he's up there secretly judging you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But
yeah.
I'm glad that we get to take a break from this for a while.
Well, he's going to find something else to obsess over.
Some other hobbyism.
So tell us, will Hobby Jonny continue?
Well, if you guys want me to, I can talk about, because I am constantly reading Tolkien, so we can just talk about what I'm
Hobby Jonny season 2
reading and what I like about it. And I could go through an unhinged, you could give me like a set time limit, and I could walk you through the entire history of Middle Earth.
I don't think
fine.
we want that.
I don't care.
Yeah,
that's
I'm a little
fine.
scared about
we
that.
could do it. We could do without.
We don't need that.